Azim are actually asked to take care of an organization which is having around 3 to 4 departments. And the major task is to make sure that the traffic doesn't mingle together. In that case, you actually start by creating VPCs and you onboard the users into onboard the different businesses or different groups of that company into different VPCs. And in case if you want to make sure that there is a communication happening between HR and finance, you set up something called VPC peering. So basically, what it does is it helps in setting up the communication, that is, traffic can flow from VPC 1 to VPC 2. Without that, there is no way that the traffic can actually move between VPCs. Sometimes there may be too many VPCs, and VPC peering might not be an option to take. So in that case, we put something like a transit gateway, which acts as a hub, and this hub actually helps in moving the traffic between VPC 1 to VPC 2 or VPC 1 to VPC 3. So this actually makes the administrative tasks much more easier. Now let's talk about subnets. There are two kinds of subnets: public subnet and private subnets. The public subnet is where you actually keep your front end applications. Like suppose you have an application which has a front end and a back end and a DB. You host your front end in public subnet and you host your back end in private subnet. The difference between public and private subnet is the internet gateway. The applications which are hosted in front end subnet, that is public subnet, can access internet via internet gateway. And if users wants to actually come in and into your subnet, you assign a public IP, and the users can actually come and actually access your front end application using internet gateway. Now there might be some cases where the backend applications might need to go and download some operating system patches or some software upgrade. In that case, you leverage something called NAT gateway. So NAT gateway basically enables the private subnet instances to go out and access internet. The next concept is for services like S3 and DynamoDB, which are hosted outside your VPC. The usual path is to go via internet and access it. But there may be some critical cases like your banking application, or if you're hosting some medical applications where security and secrecy is of utmost importance. In that case, you configure something called VPC endpoints. And these VPC endpoints make sure that the traffic is actually going via a secured endpoint, which is nothing but a direct connection between your VPC and the services. Yeah.